Well, folks, in today's video, we're going to be unboxing something which I think is going to be really exciting. Inside this box is a Bowser T1 Steam Locomotive, and a lot of people have been asking if I was going to buy one of these things, and it's a locomotive I've wanted for a while, but a lot of them tend to be really expensive. Until recently, when I was browsing eBay, and I managed to find this one right here for $85, which I thought was a pretty good deal. It's not dirt cheap, but with all the hype around them right now, you know, with them actually trying to rebuild the actual locomotive in real life, you know, the T1 Trust, these things aren't going cheap. So I thought 85 bucks, that's not too bad. There is a bit of a catch though. This locomotive's in really bad shape. I don't know the full extent of it, but according to the seller, it doesn't run, and by the pictures it looked pretty rough. So it's gonna need some work, but honestly, it looked really interesting, and I'm up for a challenge. So let's bring this thing over to the bench and get out of the box and see what exactly I bought. I'll be honest with all of you, I am very excited to open this thing up, but part of me is almost a little bit hesitant just because, you know, judging by the photos, as I said, this thing is in pretty rough condition, so I don't really know what I've got myself into, and there's a strong possibility, you know, I might not be able to get an engine like this going again, but only time will tell. We'll see how far over my head I've gone with this project. All right, this should be it. Oh, it actually comes in a box. I don't know if this is the original box, but that's great to see. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think the seller claimed they would pack it in a actual box. But anyways, let's get this thing out of the bubble wrap. You know something? This is the original box. That's so cool. Wow. That is awesome. Just check it out. Well, let's get this thing out. Oh no, wait, does it come with a exploded parts diagram? Well, there's one for the tender. Yes, there it is. So this is a dual motor locomotive, as you can see. So I think that that's a really cool design, but at the same time, this is kind of where I have a bit of hesitation because dual motor locomotives can be a little bit finicky, but it could be a great runner if we can get it going right. Now let's see what the condition of the locomotive is itself. By the way, too, I'll just put this in frame too, just for anybody who doesn't have the diagram. You can pause the video right now, and if you're trying to work on one of these engines yourself, you might be able to use that. Just something I find helpful. So yeah, I guess we'll get the engine out first. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, yep, the wheels are already falling out of it. Well, there it is. It is pretty much in the condition I saw it. I don't so far see anything broken other than this, though. I don't know why it's not, you know, being held in by the shell anymore. There's clearly some stuff wrong with it, but you know what? I don't think this is as bad as it looked in the pictures. Like, it's rough around the edges, and, you know, the paintwork is certainly, it leaves a lot to be desired, really, but this is not that bad. Well, yeah, there's even drivers in the cab. You know, I have a little more confidence. We'll have to put it on the track and see, you know, if it will do anything, if it's got a short circuit or something like that. But I don't know. There is some promise to this, which is really good to see. I don't know what that's for, but I'll keep it around. It's probably important. And now we'll move on to the tender. Yeah, it looks all right. Again, paintwork's not perfect, and I suspect this could have some cornering issues. I don't know if it's supposed to be sitting that low or not, but yeah, it's hey, we've got all the parts as far as I know, which is really what's important. I find whenever you're buying a used locomotive as a project, if it doesn't run, that's one thing, but if it's missing parts, that's another, because chasing down parts for a particular engine, you know, especially one which has probably not been manufactured in like 20, 30 years, it's a real nightmare, so you want to avoid that. Anyways, we'll take this thing over to the track and we'll see if it will do anything. I don't have high expectations, just given how everything's laid out. I think there's probably gonna end up being a short circuit or something like that, but we'll try it out and just figure out what it is we're working with here. All right, well, we've got her all set up on the track. I decided to do that part off camera just because everything is so loose. I didn't want to drop anything on the ground, but we'll give it some power here and see what exactly is going on. I really don't expect much from it, but there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And right off the bat, we seem to have a short circuit. That's quite predictable. Let's see. Okay, the short circuit's gone. I guess we'll just try attaching this to the rails. And are you serious? Well. This thing wants to run. All right, let's try to hook it up to this tender. I don't really know what the deal with this linkage is. It looks pretty sketchy, but I am so surprised to see that. I think we'll try. I think this part is supposed to be bent out. It looks like this should link up to something on the locomotive. I wonder if this is why the seller thought it was broken. Maybe they thought that, you know, this was the proper linkage and something's messed up on it. I wouldn't be surprised if this tender's not picking up power. I don't know. Let's have a look. We'll put 12 volts in the track. That might just be our problem. Yeah, this... yeah, it's no surprise power's not flowing through that. I mean, look at it. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I'll see if I can find a tender which is compatible with this engine, and we'll try to run it. I am so surprised that it just moved a little bit under its own power. Well, so far this is the best thing I could find, but it might just be enough to do this engine some good. Okay, so I've got something all jerry-rigged together, which I think is going to work. This is a truck off a Tyco Power Torque. It's not really ideal, especially looks-wise, but it should get the job done for just testing this thing out, especially since we can actually screw this thing onto this part right here, which is really how that wire should connect to this tender, but I don't, you know, really see where that's supposed to go. So I suspect what happened is that the original owner or the seller thought that it was supposed to connect maybe to something down here, like this screw right here, which is just not a great connection by the looks of it. It needs to be cleaned up because they painted it, so that's no good. But for the time being, at least we can find out if this thing runs or not. It already moved a bit. So let's give it some power here. Wow. Well, I will be darned. That is very good. Well, it's pretty good. The current draw is pretty high, but keep in mind it is a dual-motored locomotive. But yeah, the seller said this thing didn't run, and here it is going. It's shorting a little bit. I'm seeing some sparks down by the wheels. We'll just bring this thing around for one lap because, you know, I don't want to push it. It is definitely in need of some maintenance, but this is like a million times better than what I was expecting. Wow. It's just such a cool looking locomotive tool, just seeing the two sets of drivers in action. That is awesome. I can't believe I was able to pick this thing up for 85 bucks. Like, just wild. You know, it's not in perfect condition. It definitely needs work, but it's so much better than what I thought I was getting. So yeah, I'm pretty thrilled with that. You know, I can't wait to fix this whole thing up, and I'm feeling really adventurous. We might try to repaint it, but I'm not sure because I'm not the best at painting. But we'll see. But for now, this is an absolutely terrific start. Well, folks, I think that's going to be about it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm absolutely thrilled with this locomotive, and I'm frankly just surprised that an eBay seller would be so upfront about the condition and actually understate it, because I find eBay, when you're buying project engines, is sort of a hit or miss thing. You know, there have been times like this where, you know, I've been quite lucky with it, and there have been other times like with the Chesapeake and on Fire locomotive where, you know, the seller said it was in great shape and it burned up about 10 seconds after starting it. So it's a hit or miss thing, but I think this might be on the lucky side of that. And with a little bit of work, it might just be a wonderful locomotive. So yeah, stay tuned for the video where we try to fix this thing up. But until then, thank you all so much for watching.